Moorlands Radio Sport, in association with Leek Building Society.
It's time to hear from the Leek Town manager, Josh Brehaut. He's with Dave Stringer.
I should imagine a lot of supporters were a bit, anxious about today's game because Stalybridge are not a bad side, not a bad club, and it was one of those where would they come and really upset the apple cart? But in the end, I think you were really quite comfortable, weren't you?
They are a big club. Stalybridge are a very big club, and I know we've played them for a lot of minutes this year against 10 men, because obviously they had a red card in the reverse fixture as well, probably around the same sort of time as well, ironically. But yeah, to have won in the way that we did is really, really pleasing. I actually thought we started the game really well. Obviously we got I can't quite remember how early it was, but I remember us obviously getting the penalty relatively early, and that was after a good start. Kari did really well to obviously win the penalty for us. He reads the flight of those balls in behind really well, which is something we've done well all season really, playing against teams that aren't necessarily accustomed to playing on the artificial. And our forward players tend to be bounced incredibly well. Well taken penalty for Rob as well, which I'm delighted with for him. He's had a tough week, so for some personal reasons, but yeah, really pleased for him, and I'm really pleased to get the second goal as well. Unfortunately, he was obviously keen to try and get himself another hat-trick today, which... You were the villain of the piece there, weren't you, when you replaced him? But again, listen, from my point of view, and I've said this many, many times, when you've got the talent that you've got in this group, it's only right to make sure that they're given the opportunity to play as many minutes as they possibly can, and obviously today that was Big Rice and Aaron coming in off the bench, so yeah, obviously we were so lucky, and that's one of the number of reasons why we are finding ourselves in this position right now. Obviously close to hopefully achieving what we want to achieve. We're not there yet. We know what we've got to do, but obviously having played today, it gives us that extra day's recovery. So we'll make sure we're sensible now over the weekend. Enjoy tonight, of course, but be sensible over the weekend and be ready for the game, big game on Monday. Yeah, you said already that obviously you played 10 men for a lot of the game again. What was the reaction you got in the dressing room about the sending off? Why was he sent off? Well, I saw why he was sent off from over on my side. These balls out of play, and he's just decided to volley Keenan, who was already off the pitch himself at the time, to the ground. So I'm not sure why that was. I don't know whether something had happened beforehand to wind him up, but it was a blatant red card which their manager accepted himself. He said from the side he knew. So it was obviously a crazy decision, but one that obviously we weren't too concerned with. Having said that, when it went down to 10 men, and we had this similarly in the first game, or the reverse fixture. It's not always easy, or it isn't easy at all playing against 10 men, and we were at times forcing things where we didn't need to. But what was pleasing was the goal we scored in the second half was exactly what we'd spoke about at half time in terms of the patience, trying to play 3v2 in the wide areas and be patient with that, and obviously switches of play were going to be key, not taking too many touches on the ball. We could have done it better at times, but the third goal was really pleasing that it came in the nature it did, because it was something we'd spoke about. The second goal was obviously an own goal, but you can take some credit, your side can take some credit from that. You were putting the pressure on, weren't you? Yeah, and do you know what? I think as Dan's played the ball over the top, he's almost apologising to the forward line for making that decision, but to be honest, because we run aggressively in behind, we force the opponent to make a decision, make an action, and it's not easy when that ball's coming up in the air and behind you, the sun's out, and he had to make a play at it. Obviously, unfortunately for them, not too dissimilar to the Prescott game, ironically. He's flicked it, and it's ended up looping over the goalkeeper and made its way in. So yeah, obviously a little bit of good fortune there, but you earn your luck, as they say, and over the course of the season we've earned that luck by being a team that's fit, strong, relentless, tries to do the right things always, both with and without the ball, and more often than not we've managed to do that. So we've got to stay focused now, but yeah, that was a pleasing moment. Second goal coming at the time it made your half-time talk so much easier, didn't it? It definitely did, yeah. It definitely did. There's no doubt about that. And I think that we saw from the start of the second half that they came out probably resigned to the fact that they weren't going to get anything from the game. Now obviously we spoke at half time about Stalybridge, and I mentioned this in my notes, that they've got the most number of points from losing positions, so we knew that they were dangerous. They had good attacking players. They're a big club, as I've already alluded to, with big budget, and obviously attract good players, so we knew that we couldn't afford to switch off. But again, that's just a testament to the professionalism of the group, that we didn't really give them a sniff in the second half.
And again, your defence was perfect, wasn't it? Dino had little to do in goal, did he?
Yeah, I think there's always things you can do better, so I won't necessarily agree with the word perfect, but yeah, we were strong, we were really solid. When I did speaking in, with times where the gaps were a little bit too big, I felt, and I think sometimes your mentality to go and press the ball when you've got the extra man it can almost become a little bit of walking football at times, which it did. But no, on the whole, I thought we kept our concentration really well. It can take one long straight ball and that goes in behind Jules or Ollie, and all of a sudden that's a chance for them to get back in the game. They handled that really well, and Dino obviously is such an organiser behind them that's obviously made such a significant impact to the group in the time he's been with us.
And the impact you've made as a club this season, playing as you have, and going on great winning runs, going on great runs where you've not conceded a goal at all. It's put pressure on the other sides who are trying to chase you down, and that pressure told on Runcorn Linnets today, really.
Yeah, and I think 22 games or whatever it is now, no one could have, in our wildest dreams, thought that we would go on a run that we have done, dating as far back as that Runcorn game in November. So, I haven't really I run out of words to use to describe the group, because they're an incredible bunch who put the work in, and that's the bits that people don't see behind the scenes, the work that the lads put in on the training ground. I would imagine that our attendance record for training is better than any club. I would imagine the intensity that the players train at is better than any club, and it's that work that goes in behind the scenes that the players have put in since pre-season, when we started at the end of June, to this point now, that have ultimately helped us along the way. We talk a lot about process, and it's not just turning up on game day and performing. It doesn't work like that, and you have to put the hard yards in, and you have to be prepared to want to learn and be the best you can be, and to a man each and every single one of the group have done that this year. And
we've every one of us has really said, oh great, Runcorn have dropped points, they're out of the race and so on, and now we turn to Prescott, their turn tomorrow, they play, they get the game in hand. But you don't really want Prescott to lose in a way, do you? You want to win it on your own merits and win it on your own, go out on Monday and win the title that way.
Yeah, what will be on that front. I don't think we could ever turn around and say that we don't want Prescott to lose a game when they're our biggest rivals, but I completely understand the nature of the question. Of course, when you dream of winning league titles, you dream of doing that in a way whereby the final whistle blows and you've made yourself the champions. But listen, we aren't in control of that game. Obviously, if that's the way it works, then obviously we'll still enjoy what's to come, what's hopefully to come. But as I've said, from our point of view now, it'll be a case of resting up, recuperating and being ready for Monday, and as a staff group we'll be out watching our next couple of opponents tomorrow.
And it serves as normal, isn't it? Leek Town play, Leek Town win.
Yeah, it is at the moment, and whilst we're riding this crest of a wave, we've got to continue to enjoy it, and we will obviously. It won't last forever, and we've got to remember these good times, because these are memories that we hopefully will hold on to for a long time. And I've spoken to the players about that. We've obviously got some senior players in the group who've already achieved great things, but this will be a massive achievement for them, and it will also be a massive achievement for the younger ones who are obviously just starting out on their journey, who hopefully are going to have a long, successful career in football as well. So like I said, regardless of tomorrow's result, we're going to be making sure that we enjoy tonight, but get ready for Monday, and hopefully this time on Monday we can be talking about the amazing achievement. But if it's not, then obviously we'll still remain very calm, as I've said all along. And
one last thing is that you've got your young players, and all your players have really enjoyed it. There's been about 900 people from the Leek area who've enjoyed it in 981 attendance today.
Wow.
Who've really enjoyed.
Wow.
You've really brought the crowds out, haven't you?
Yeah, and again, on that point, I think just a massive thank you, because the supporters have been incredible. You know, they've been really patient with us in certain games, where we haven't, you know, necessarily been up in you know, at half time. They've been incredible, and yeah, they really deserve the success that hopefully will come our way, because you know, obviously they've been waiting a long time for it, and we've obviously had the discussions around the recent pains, some uncontrollable of course in recent years. So yeah, hopefully this is going to be the year. Fingers crossed.
Josh, once again, thanks very much for your time.
Cheers, Dave, thank you.
That is Josh Brehaut, just to